Hello everyone and welcome to the first anniversary of My Game Review and Preview, and we have the note about the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch Online. Good news! The Nintendo Switch Online will add more classic Nintendo games as part of the update, and classic Nintendo games finally return via Nintendo Switch Online, and Nintendo Switch is coming to China next week. According to Polygon, and it says Nintendo Switch Online subscribers will get 6 more classic games from the NES and Super NES era next week, including Star Fox 2, the cancelled sequel to Star Fox that made its official debut on the Super NES Classic Edition in 2017. Also, coming to Nintendo Switch Online are SNES games like Super Punch-Out, Breath of Fire 2, and Kirby Superstar, as well as NES games like Crystallis and Journey to Silius. All 6 games will be available to Nintendo Switch Online starting December 12th next week, a day after the closing ceremony of the 30th Southeast Asian Games. The addition of those titles will bring the number of classic NES and SNES games playable through Nintendo Switch Online to 74. A 12-month subscription to Nintendo Switch Online costs $19.99 in the United States and around 1,100 pesos in the Philippines. You can also subscribe for a month for $3.99 or for 3 months for $7.99 in the United States and 475 pesos in the Philippines. Subscribing to Nintendo's service enables online play for games like Splatoon 2, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and ARMS, including Mario Kart Deluxe, Puyo Puyo Tetris, Puyo Puyo Champions, Dead or Alive and Shooting Scarlet, and of course, NBA 2K20, Mortal Kombat 11, NBA 2K19, SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy, Super Mario Maker 2, and more. And Nintendo offers a growing selection of classic games to play. If you're unfamiliar with any of the forthcoming 8-bit and 16-bit titles coming to Nintendo Switch Online later this month, here are Nintendo's official descriptions of each game. Like Star Fox 2, Super Punch-Out, Kirby Superstar, and Breath of Fire 2, and also 2 NES games like Crystallis and Journey to Silius. While for Star Fox 2 is a sequel to Star Fox, which is originally released in 1995, but it never released in stores. But 22 years later, Star Fox 2 will be officially released on the Super NES Classic Edition. If you don't try to play Star Fox 2, you can play Star Fox first in level 1 before unlock Star Fox 2 on the Super NES Classic Edition. And if you have the Nintendo Switch in any models, you can play Star Fox 2 for the first time via Nintendo Switch Online. So be sure to play Star Fox 2 on the Nintendo Switch system via Nintendo Switch Online. And that's about it. And of course, Star Fox 2 is another Star Fox game because Star Fox 2 has made graphics made with a Super FX chip, just like Star Fox. And of course, like Yoshi's Island has a Super FX chip for better graphics and more technology. For Star Fox 2, this 3D rail shooter and second installment of the Star Fox series was first designed for the Super NES, but went unreleased until it appeared on the Super NES Classic Edition in 2017. This time, Emperor Andros is on a crusade to conquer the Lilac system and the Star Fox team itself. After a long wait, Star Fox is back in action because Star Fox 2 is a good video game because he has to be playing. So if you don't try to play Star Fox 2 once again, try to play Star Fox 2 on Nintendo Switch system via Nintendo Switch Online. And that's about it. How about the other games we feature on the Nintendo Switch Online? Like Super Punch-Out. Super Punch-Out was released in 1994 along with the release of Super Metroid, but Super Metroid is on the Super NES Classic Edition. So try Super Metroid on the Super NES Nintendo Switch Online, so it's better to play. If you don't try it, then you must play Super Metroid first before proceeding to the next SNES game on the Nintendo Switch family of systems. So Super Punch-Out is another Punch-Out game. It is after Punch-Out released in 1987 and 1990. It says Super Punch-Out, featuring the tight gameplay and humor the series is known for. This sequel to the NES Classic sees Lord Mac return to the ring with the World Video Boxing Association belt, or WVBA belt, once again at stake. But for this time, Lower Mag will never return for Super Punch-Out for the Super NES. But this time, the unknown boxer is back with the nice blonde hair we returned, just like in 1984 game Punch-Out for the arcades, because it's good. Your player's Lower Mag will be punched for bigger opponents. If a knockout, will proceed to the next fighter, so it's better to do that. So if you don't try Super Punch-Out on the Super NES Classic Edition, play Super Punch-Out first before proceed to the next game. And if you have Nintendo Switch family of systems in any models, you can play Super Punch-Out on the Nintendo Switch online as an update. So it is fun to play, and it's a boxing video game from Nintendo. And there's also Super Punch-Out, also the voice as the announcer. The referee counts to 10. The voice of the referee before the start the voice as Mario was Charles Martinet. Charles Martinet is a veteran voice actor being best known for Mario and other characters in the Super Mario series, including the announcer and the referee of the Super Punch-Out game itself. Well, anyways, let's proceed to another SNES game via Nintendo Switch Online as an update for the next week. Like Kirby Superstar. Kirby Superstar is the first Kirby game on the Super NES after all Kirby games released for the Game Boy. Also, Kirby Superstar is released before the next Kirby game on the Super NES, like Kirby's Dream Course and Kirby's Dream Land 3. Yes, that's right. So Kirby Superstar is another Kirby game from Nintendo and HAL Laboratory, because it's another cutie action and hack and slash video game, but not hack and slash. It's another game for Kirby, but it has everything about Kirby. That awful King DDD is at it again. He's stolen all the food in Dreamland. It's up to you, Kirby, to get it back and ultimately save Popstar from being taken over. There's never dull moment as Kirby dashes, flies, and fights. So you need to try to play Kirby Superstar first before proceed to the next game. But Kirby Superstar has a bunch of other games in Kirby Superstar with bonus game features as well. It's a nice game to play with Kirby. So anyways, let's proceed to another game for the Nintendo Switch Online through Super NES Nintendo Switch Online. Breath of Fire 2. Breath of Fire 2 is a sequel to Breath of Fire. The game is from Capcom. It says 500 years later, or set 500 years later after the original, take on the role of Ryu, the last member of the Dragon Clan. Not Ryu, the Street Fighter character. A cast of unusual and exciting companions join you in your adventures across a wondrous land full of magic and mystery. This is another fire game. This is another RPG game with battle system, because RPG makes no sense for me, because RPG has battle system and fight against the dragons and other enemies. I'll stick to Pokemon and Super Mario RPG, because Breath of Fire 2 is another RPG game from Capcom, because I stick to Pokemon and Super Mario RPG. That's all for the Nintendo Switch Online, featuring the Super NES Nintendo Switch Online games will be available as an update for the next week, because 4 Super NES games will be added to your library next week as an update. So be sure to update Nintendo Switch Online with the active Nintendo Switch Online membership only. So if you don't try to play for your favorite classic Nintendo games on Nintendo Switch Online, you can subscribe to Nintendo Switch Online membership, whether it's 12 months, 3 months, 1 month, or 7-day free trial. So be sure to play your favorite Nintendo classic games for the starters, especially the retro gamers and the modern gamers as well, to play the retro Nintendo games. And finally, the NES Nintendo Switch Online has finally returned from August and September. But for September, the NES games will not add to the NES Nintendo Switch Online. Focus about the launch of the new Nintendo Switch Online features like the Super NES Nintendo Switch Online. But it's back this Christmas. The NES Nintendo Switch Online has been returned this Christmas because it's time to play some retro games on the Nintendo Switch family systems. So here are the NES games to be shown as part of the update for Nintendo Switch Online. Here are the following: Crystalis and Journey to Silius. While for Crystalis, an epic story for action RPG fans is ready to unfold. Set in a world where civilization lies in ruins, the young protagonist awakes from cryogenic sleep, and the adventure begins. Collect the Sword of Wind and venture into the unknown. And finally, Journey to Silius. Join Jay on his run and gun mission to take down the mechanical army responsible for his father's death, defeat endless waves of attack robots, and fulfill his father's dream of developing a space colony in the Silius solar system. While Crystalis was released in 1990 from SNK, a year before release of the King of Fighters and the release of Neo Geo arcades and video game consoles. While for Journey to Silius released in 1990 also for the NES from Sunsoft, because two NES games should be finally arrived to the Nintendo Switch Online on the Nintendo Switch family of systems, because it's pretty good and it's a good game. And do not use unlicensed NES games on the Nintendo Switch Online because it's bad. The unlicensed games will not be included on the Nintendo Switch Online because it's bad. Unlicensed NES games will be not included in the Nintendo Switch Online because it's so bad. Including the unlicensed SNES games will not be included on the SNES Nintendo Switch Online because only the selected any classic Nintendo games should be added to your library every month or every few months on the Nintendo Switch Online with your Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch Lite. So once again, 4 SNES games and 2 NES games should be added as an update for Nintendo Switch Online for the next week. So be sure to update first before you're gonna play those classic Nintendo games. So that's about it. And another update about the Nintendo Switch, featuring the new Nintendo Switch console in China. According to Engadget, and it says, as expected, Nintendo will officially launch the Switch console in China on the 10th of December 2019 in partnership with Tencent. It will sell as a bundle for 2,099 yuan, or about $298 US, with a copy of New Super Mario Bros. 2 Deluxe. In addition, Mario Kart Deluxe and Super Mario Odyssey are now available to pre-order, and additional first-party games are being prepared for the China market later. Nico Partners analyst Daniel Ahmad wrote on Twitter, says the Tencent Nintendo Switch will launch next week, December 10th, 2019 for 2,099 yuan, or about $300 US or $298 US. The console will officially be called the Tencent Nintendo Switch, also known as Nintendo Switch Chinese version and IQ Switch, and will come with a 1-year warranty. Games will reportedly be priced at around 299 yuan, or around $42. There's no word yet on whether the cheaper Nintendo Switch Lite will also arrive in China, so only Nintendo Switch Lite will be available now only in Japan, North America, Europe, Australia, Southeast Asia, and Middle East to release Nintendo Switch Lite for playing the compatible Nintendo Switch games in handheld mode. On top of helping Nintendo build simplified Chinese language versions of games, Tencent will provide the cloud service for the Switch Online service in China and modify the Nintendo eShop to work with its widely used WeChat Pay system. China gaming is primarily done on PCs and mobile phones, so the launch of a new console is a big deal. We believe that Nintendo Switch will replace the PlayStation 4 as the market leader in China by 2022, when accounting for both legal and grey market sales, Ahmad said. However, Nintendo itself has been cautious about potential sales in China. Even if the launch does occur during the current fiscal year, we do not expect a significant impact on this year's business results, said Shuntaro Furukawa, the president and CEO of Nintendo of Japan, also known as Nintendo Company Limited, last month. So the Nintendo Switch Chinese version is coming to China next week, because the gamers in China are so excited about to buy the Nintendo Switch system and the copy of New Super Mario Bros. 2 Deluxe as a launch title, because the gamers were ready in China and the Chinese kids also were ready to buy a new system itself and play the new Super Mario Bros. Game, which is New Super Mario Bros. 2 Deluxe. If you don't try to play New Super Mario Bros. 2 Deluxe for Chinese gamers and kids, you can buy New Super Mario Bros. 2 Deluxe on the launch day next week, because we're so excited about the Nintendo Switch in China 2 years after its release worldwide, because The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild will be the launch title on the Nintendo Switch system, along with 1-2 Switch, Super Bomberman R, and of course Just Dance 2017. So the Nintendo Switch will be released worldwide last March 3, 2017, and 2 years later, Nintendo decided to release the Nintendo Switch in China for the next week, which is December 12, 2019, a day after the closing ceremony of the 2019 Southeast Asian Games. So be sure to pre-order of the Chinese Nintendo Switch system before it's too late, and that's about it. So once again, the Nintendo Switch system in China, also known as the Tencent Nintendo Switch, will be available on the launch day, December 12, 2019. And a suggested retail price for only 2,099 yuan in China and around $300 in the United States. And of course, with a free copy of New Super Mario Bros. 2 Deluxe as a launch title. So pre-order of the Chinese Nintendo Switch will be available from now until December 11, 2019 in retail stores or online stores in China. So be sure to buy a Chinese version of the Nintendo Switch system and the New Super Mario Bros. 2 Deluxe copy before it's too late. So that concludes the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch online updates, featuring the additional classic Nintendo games on Nintendo Switch Online, and the Nintendo Switch system is coming to China. So what do you think about the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch Online updates? I'm going to play the new games on the NES and SNES Nintendo Switch Online. I'm going to buy the Chinese version of the Nintendo Switch in China. And I'm excited to buy the Tencent Nintendo Switch in China for the next week. And are you ready for the update of the NES and SNES Nintendo Switch Online for the next week? Please let us know in the comments below, and of course, if you like this video, please give a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and ring the bell for my game review videos, updates, game reactions including gameplay and unboxing. You can also follow us on Twitter at CSP Game Review and Preview for more game review videos, updates, Splatfest Systems updates, gameplay, unboxing, and game reactions as well. But my CSP Game Review and Preview on Twitter is coming soon, so stay tuned for that. And we will see you in the next Nintendo Switch update, Nintendo Switch Online update, a game review and preview video, and we will see you next time. And goodbye. This is the Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch Online updates, featuring the Nintendo Entertainment System and Super Nintendo Entertainment System Nintendo Switch Online and Nintendo Switch in China. And you're watching the first anniversary of CSP Game Review and Preview.